You might not believe this, but there's a single number that determines whether you're financially thriving or drowning. A number so powerful that lenders use it to approve or deny loans, and financial experts consider it the ultimate measure of your money management skills. Here's the scary part. Most people don't even know their number. They're flying blind, signing loans, swiping cards, making choices that could wreck their future, all without realizing they're ignoring the one ratio that could save them from financial disaster. This is MindSnack Finance. Bite-sized lessons with lasting value. Meet your debt-to-income ratio, or DTI for short. Your financial GPS that tells you exactly where you stand and whether you're headed toward wealth or financial wreckage. Imagine driving a car without a speedometer. You might feel like you're going about the right speed, but in reality, you could be going dangerously fast without realizing it. That's how most people live financially. No dashboard, no warning lights, just vibes. Your DTI ratio is that dashboard. It's brutally honest. It doesn't care how much you feel like you're doing okay. It shows you in black and white how much of your income is already spoken for by debt. It's brutally simple math. Add up all your monthly debt payments: mortgage, rent, car loans, student loans, credit cards, personal loans. Divide by your gross monthly income, multiply by 100. That percentage is your DTI and tells you how much of your life is owned by debt. And here's the terrifying truth. Most people discover they're already in the danger zone. If you're already in debt or considering any loan, car, house, student, credit card, knowing your DTI isn't optional. It's financial survival. Because without this number, you're making life-altering decisions based on feelings instead of facts. Financial experts identified a powerful ratio that separates the financially secure from the financially stressed. It's called the 28-36 rule, and it's a proven roadmap to financial freedom. 28%. That's the maximum your housing should consume of your gross monthly income. Not just rent or mortgage, but the total housing package. Rent, mortgage, property taxes, home insurance, HOA fees. Go beyond 28% and you could end up house poor, trapped in a cycle of paycheck to paycheck living. 36%. That's the ceiling for all your monthly debt payments combined. Housing, car loans, credit cards, student loans, everything. Cross that line and you're entering financial quicksand where every unexpected expense becomes a potential disaster. Why these seemingly conservative percentages? Because you need the remaining 64% for food, utilities, transportation, healthcare, childcare, clothing, savings, emergencies, and actually living your life. Ignore this rule and you'll spend your entire paycheck before you even start living. Let's make this real with an example that might hit close to home. Meet Sarah, a recent college graduate who shares an apartment with her best friend. She's stepping confidently into the next chapter of her life, full of ambition and ready to embrace new adventures. Her gross income is $4,000 monthly. Her rent is $800. Her car payment is $400. First, let's calculate her DTI for housing. Rent of $800 divided by $4,000, then multiplied by 100 equals 20%. She is below 28%, which is good for her, as it gives her more room to manage other expenses. Now let's calculate her DTI for all her monthly debt payments. $800 plus $400 equals $1,200. Divided by $4,000 and multiplied by 100, that equals 30%. That means 30% of her income is already locked into debt. Because Sarah's at 30%, she's in the safe zone. But what if Sarah had student loans adding $300 and a credit card payment of $200? Let's calculate her DTI for all her monthly debt payments. $800 plus $400 plus $300 plus $200 equals $1,700. Divided by $4,000 and multiplied by 100, that equals 42%. She is now living on the edge of financial burden with zero margin for error. One more debt, one financial emergency, one job hiccup, and she could be in serious financial trouble. Here's what nobody tells you. Every percentage point above 36% doesn't just increase your debt. It multiplies your stress, limits your options, and pushes you closer to financial catastrophe. Most people calculate whether they can afford the monthly payment, not whether they should afford it within their overall financial picture. Can I swing $750 a month for this car? Yes. Should I add 750 plus total cost of ownership to my existing debt load? That's the question they never ask, because life is brutally unpredictable. Job loss, medical bills, car repairs, home repairs, family emergencies, you name it. They don't care about your perfect budget. They arrive when your DTI is over 36% and suddenly you're choosing between making debt payments and buying groceries. A high DTI ratio doesn't just limit your spending, it limits your life. You can't take risks, change careers, start a business, or help family in emergencies. You become a prisoner of your monthly obligations, working solely to service debt. So how do you maintain a healthy DTI and avoid financial prison? 4 strategic moves that separate the financially free from the financially trapped. Step 1. Track every expense like your future depends on it, because it does. You can't manage what you don't measure. Know exactly where every dollar goes, every single month. Step 2. Attack your existing debt with the intensity of someone whose life depends on it. Use the debt snowball, debt avalanche, whatever method works. But make debt elimination your primary financial mission. Step 3. Increase your income aggressively. Ask for raises, develop marketable skills, start side hustles. Every extra dollar you earn makes your existing debt less dangerous and creates room for financial growth. Step 4. Approach new debt with extreme caution. It can quietly sabotage your financial health. Before taking on any new obligation, calculate its impact on your DTI. If it pushes you over 36%, you can't afford it. Period. No exceptions, no rationalizations. Pause this video. Grab a pen and paper. Write down your gross monthly income, every monthly debt payment. Now calculate your DTI. Where do you land? Under 28%? Between 28% and 36%? Over 36%? This isn't just theory, it's your financial life. But here's the psychological trap. Debt feels manageable when it's broken into small payments. $50 here, $100 there. But those payments add up. It's like carrying pebbles in your backpack. One pebble feels like nothing, but add enough and suddenly you're crushed under the weight. And because our brains rarely factor in the full loan amount or its duration, we're blindsided when month 14 of a 72-month car loan arrives and the burden still stretches far ahead. That's why DTI is so powerful. It forces you to see the total weight, not just the individual pebbles. So what happens when you master your DTI ratio? You develop financial resilience to weather the storm, if life throws one at you. Job changes don't threaten you. Emergencies become manageable inconveniences instead of life-altering disasters. Lenders see you as low risk, leading to higher approval rates for mortgages, auto loans, and credit cards, along with more favorable interest rates. Your low DTI becomes a wealth-building advantage that compounds over time. But most importantly, you sleep peacefully knowing that your debt doesn't control your life. You control your debt. That psychological freedom is worth more than any purchase you could make. Your DTI also tells you what kind of financial goals make sense at any moment in your life. Think of it as a mirror. Wherever your DTI stands today, it reflects what's realistic in the short, medium, and long term. Let's look at 4 examples. Buying a car. Medium term, practical goal. If your DTI is already at the limit, say 36%, adding a car loan could push you into a financial burden for months to come. In this case, your goal shouldn't just be buying a car, but lowering your DTI first so you can qualify for a better loan. If your DTI is low, you can plan for a car purchase without derailing other goals and even negotiate lower interest rates. Buying a home, long-term, foundational goal. Mortgage lenders often want to see a DTI under 36%. If you're above that, your immediate goal becomes debt reduction and income growth, not house hunting. If you're under that threshold, you can shift your focus towards saving for a down payment and closing costs. Planning a trip, short-term, lifestyle goal. A high DTI means discretionary goals like travel should be scaled back or funded through savings, not new debt. A low DTI gives you more flexibility to enjoy experiences without jeopardizing long-term stability. Funding education, medium to long-term, growth goal. Education loans can stretch your DTI for years. If your ratio is already high, consider scholarships, part-time programs, or delaying enrollment until you've freed up capacity. With a lower DTI, you can take on education debt more strategically, knowing it won't choke future opportunities. Your DTI at any given moment doesn't just measure your debt. It defines which goals are realistic, which need adjusting, and which should wait. By aligning your ambitions with your current ratio, you turn DTI into a decision-making framework. The 2836 rule isn't about deprivation, it's about liberation. It's about maintaining the financial flexibility to live life on your terms instead of your creditor's terms. Because this one number determines whether you'll build wealth or just service debt for the rest of your financial life. And if this opened your eyes to new ways to manage your money, subscribe for more financial reality checks that your bank account will appreciate.